Marcus of the Always Believe House. Oh, today we're going to have a rock and rollin' fun time. Yeah, another great time because we're going to factor cubic equations. Remember, when you multiplied binomials, when you did like x squared plus 2x minus 3 times 2x plus 5, you got an answer that had an x cubed in it. That's called a cubic, okay? Today you're going to learn how to do that by factoring by grouping. And it is going to be F-U-N, fun. So a magical whiteboard appears, and we're going to go down to get one that has all positive numbers. Go down to number 11. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do this. The title of this lesson is Factor by Grouping. You're going to do all the problems the same way. So when you factor by grouping, you're going to group the first two and the last two. And you're going to pull out the GCF. So the GCF of 2v cubed and 12v squared, a 2 goes into them and a v squared, right? We did factoring by GCF last week. So I could pull a 2v squared out, start a parentheses, 2v cubed divided by 2v squared is v, plus 12 divided by 2 is 6, and the v squares cancel out, right? And this is kind of you just divided those by 2v squared. Let me do it another way here. I could take a 2v squared out, right? I'm going to divide these by 2v squared. If I do that, I get v and then plus 6, don't I? Okay. Now then go to the next set. What can I take out of 5 and 30? 5v and 30. This 30 doesn't have a v, so I can't pull out a letter, but I could pull out a number. So I'm going to drop this sign and put plus 5, then start a parentheses, and I can take 5 out, right? And I'm going to end up with a v plus 6. This will always repeat on every single problem. Got it? This will always repeat on every single problem. So what you're going to do is you're going to write down 1 v plus 6. Basically, you're factoring that out. Scratch them out, and what's left? 2v squared plus 5. And you stop right there. Okay? So you're going to factor the first two, factor the last two. Your parentheses will repeat. Write down the parentheses, and whatever's left goes last. Okay, now then let's go up to, let's do number 5. Okay, got to do the same thing. On number 5, underline the first two and the last two. We're going to pull out, right? What can I take out of 10 and 14? 2 divides into them, right? So I'm going to write down 2. They both have k, and my smallest exponent's a 2. Now then I'm going to divide by 2k squared, right? And I'm going to get 2 divided by 10 is 5. K cubed divided by k squared is k. A negative divided by a positive is a negative. 14 divided by 2 is 7. And the k's cancel, right? Now then, that 5k minus 7 should happen in the next one. Write down a plus. And then what can I take out of 35 and 49? 7 goes into them, right? If I divide these by 7, I'm going to get the 5k minus 7 repeats, doesn't it? The 5k minus 7 gets written down. Basically, you divide it out, you factor it out, and then what's left? 2k squared plus 7. This right here is the answer. If you were to multiply those two, you would go up to the answer, okay? Pretty simple stuff. This is not rocket science. Oh, now then, let's go up to number 1 because number 1's kind of tricky. Okay, what can I pull out of 4n and n squared? If I can't pull out a number, the only thing I can pull out is an n squared, right? So I'm going to divide these by n squared. And I'm going to get 4n plus 1, right? Now then, please watch this with me. Plus, plus, minus, minus. These are opposites, right? Do you see that the first two signs are plus, plus, and the last two signs are minus, minus? If I were to pull out, let's say these two divide by 6, right? If I pull that out, I'm going to get negative 4n minus 1, right? Notice that the signs are opposites, aren't they? So if these signs are opposites, you're going to write down a negative here. And that's going to flip the sign. So you're going to divide these by negative 6. That's going to make this a negative divided by a negative is a positive 4n, and then a plus 1. Notice my parentheses repeat, don't they? So I'm going to write down the 4n plus 1. Basically, you're dividing these out. You're factoring them out. And what's left? n squared minus 6. So the first thing you want to look at is see if you have opposites. If you have opposites, this sign will be minus. If they're the same, that sign will be plus like the first two. Let's do number 2. Okay, we have a plus minus and we have a negative positive, right? Those are opposites, right? So I'm going to put a minus in the middle. Now then, let's do the first part. What can I pull out of 10 and 25? A 5 works, right? And we have a p squared, don't we? Now then, I'm going to divide both of these by 5p squared, right? And I'm going to get 2p minus 5, right? My next parenthesis should be 2p minus 5, shouldn't it? I could take a 2 out of 4 and 10, can I? But since the signs are opposite, I'm going to put a negative 2. So I'm going to divide these by negative 2. So I'm going to get 2p and then minus 5, right? Notice the 2p minus 5s repeat. So I'm going to write down one of the 2p minus 5s and then cancel out. Okay? Ho, 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 ho. Keep going on. Let's do number 7. Number 7, we have plus plus and minus minus, don't we? They are opposites, right? So I'm going to have to use a negative, right? Now then, I could take a 5 out and I could take an x squared out, right? So I'm going to divide these by 5x squared. And I'm going to get 5x plus 1, right? My next parenthesis should be 5x plus 1. Since they're opposites, I'm going to take a negative out, and they both divide by 2, don't they? So I'm going to divide both of them by negative 2. Negative 10 divided by negative 2 is a positive 5x. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is a plus 1. Notice that the 5x plus 1s repeat. Y'all see the pattern here? This isn't that complicated. Right now, this is the only way you can factor a cubic, okay? So we're going to write down 5x plus 1 and then 5x squared minus 2. Ho, 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 ho. And let's do number 9. This will be the last one I leave you with. Okay, we have a plus minus and a minus plus. They're opposites, right? So I need to put a minus in the middle. Can I take anything out of 7 and 2? I can't, but I could take an a squared out, can I? So I'm going to write down a squared. I'm going to divide these by a squared, and I'm going to get 7a minus 2. Now then, I could divide these by 6, right? And I need a negative 6 to switch the signs, right? So if I divide by negative 6, negative divided by negative is a positive. 42 divided by 6 is 7. My letter's A. My 7a's there. 12 divided by negative 6 is a negative 2. I got my minus 2. So my 7a minus 2 drops. Scratch them out. And what's left? A squared minus 6. Ho, 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 ho. F-U-N. Fun, fun, fun. Okay? Finish the rest up on your own. I don't want to eat all the Oreo cookies for you, okay? The key is on Canvas, okay? Make sure you're working them out right. That parentheses will always repeat, okay? Pretty simple stuff. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Remember, you are amazing. You are created to do wonderful things, and you are awesome.